What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to talk some fantasy football, and before I get started, I just want to let you know me and my friend, we actually teamed up on a league. I know you don't hear this much when you're talking about fantasy football. I usually hear people versing each other, but we both won our leagues last year, and we figure maybe two heads are better than one, and this is aside from our main league that we're each doing by ourselves. I'll definitely say there's a lot of parts where you could definitely bump heads if you do it with two or more people, but I think this draft went really, really well, and I'm going to jump into it and go round by round, pick one to the last pick in round 15, and show you a lot of people that I like and who I don't think are worth taking, at least in that position. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it, and I'm going to show you guys round 1 through 3. Start out with round 1. We actually ended up with the first overall pick in the draft, which I really wasn't expecting, but we had a plan from the beginning, and that was to go with Jamaal Charles, who did absolutely spectacular last year. You really can't go wrong with pick number 1 if you take him or McCoy, possibly even Adrian Peterson. As you see, he slipped a little bit. Matt Forte did go in front of him, which I don't know if I really like, especially because of how good Adrian Peterson always seems to be. As you see, also, Eddie Lacy goes before Calvin Johnson. A lot of people have been speculating and going back and forth on what they should do with that pick. I personally, it really depends who you see left. I mean, Calvin Johnson's a great, solid receiver. He's going to get you a ton of points. Eddie Lacy did really good last year. He could be great this season, or he might just be average. Who really knows? I guess it's kind of a risk here or there. The pick that I like the most out of this is at pick number 10. Demaryius Thomas fell all the way. A.J. Green and Marshawn Lynch goes in front of him. Not too big on Marshawn Lynch. Maybe second round, but definitely I think too early for him to go with pick number 9. Now moving on to round number 2, John Seam, as you see, has back-to-back picks. He picks up Peyton Manning. What a duo he has going on there with pick 1 and 2, taking Demaryius and Peyton. And right after that goes another Denver player, Monte Ball. Could be very, very overrated. You never know what's going to go on with him. He could live up to it, but once again, I think it's pretty much a pretty big risk going with him in round 2, especially that early in round 2. Bunch of receivers going, and I couldn't believe it whenever he fell all the way. DeMarco Murray to pick number 20. His ADP is around 11 or 12, so he's getting drafted in the beginning around 2. He falls all the way to the end. We're left with two solid running backs in Jamaal Charles and DeMarco Murray. I don't know if I would pick Giovanni Bernard before him. I don't know if I'd pick Le'Veon Bell or even Monte Ball. I think we had the best running back in round 2 without a doubt, even though it was the last one taken. Now we have back-to-back picks. Moving on to round 3, pick up Alshon Jeffrey. He has had a spectacular season last year, although he is behind Brandon Marshall, and Jay Cutler seems to be his butt buddy. Alshon Jeffrey is still a great receiver. We were really debating between him, Antonio Brown, and Jordy Nelson. Thought Alshon Jeffrey was just the best pick without a doubt in that situation. You really can't go wrong with Antonio Brown either. Last season, he didn't go a single game without catching at least 5 catches, which is just insane to even think of. Just great consistency there. So really look out with him if you see him there. Also, Julius Thomas going in the 3rd round, possibly a little bit early. I don't really know. It depends if you really like the tight ends or not. If you want to take a risk on somebody like Gronkowski or something, you'll see where he goes a little bit later in the draft. And then also, Derek's team picks 3 running backs in his first 3 picks. I don't know exactly what he was doing there. Don't know if I like that at all, really. Although running backs are definitely the most valuable position. Now let's move on to round 4 through 6. We're going to speed it up just a little bit. Randall Cobb goes the first pick in round 4. Really like him. He's in a contract year. If you could pick him up around 4 or 5, definitely recommend doing that. He's a great receiver, and definitely think, even though he is behind Jordy Nelson, he's going to put up numbers just like him, in my opinion. So can't really go wrong with that. And there goes Toby Gerhart in round 4. People are really not liking him that much. He's averaging around round 5, so if you wanted to pick him, I mean, he's on Jacksonville. They're going to be behind in all their games practically, so who knows what he's going to do. Then there goes 4 wide receivers in a row, all pretty old wide receivers, in Fitzgerald, Jackson, Andre, and Wes Welker. Now, we were left with Wes Welker. It was either between him and Cordarrelle Patterson, who I really like a lot, possibly Pierre Garçon, but Wes Welker just seems like a solid guy that's going to get you a lot of points over and over again every single week, at least 10 points. So I like that pick, a solid pick. Not the greatest, not bragging about or anything. But let's move on to round number 5, and this is where we are taking our risk. Rob Gronkowski, start of round 5. Let's take him. He's having some injury problems, but whenever he is healthy, if he is healthy this year, he's worth a second or third round pick without a doubt. Just great potential. If he's not going to be there, I mean, I guess it was a bad pick, but it is still round 5. It's pretty late for a player of his caliber, especially if he's going to be as good as he has been in the past. Now you see Bishop Sankey, the first rookie running back taken out of this fantasy draft in round 5. Looks like he's going to be the starter in Tennessee. He's looking pretty good in training camp and in preseason. Possibly worth the pick at round 5. A little bit of a risk, but as you see in the past, a lot of these rookie running backs coming out of the draft are doing a lot for their team, so it could possibly be a really, really good pick. Moving on to round 6, John's team picks back-to-back Lions running backs, and that's pretty interesting. I guess if one's doing bad, the other one will pick up the slack and do well for him. You just gotta decide before the game who's going to be doing good or bad. Interesting picks there, round 5 and round 6 back to back. Don't know if I like that or not. One pick that I like, Jordan Cameron, round 6. He's going to be a great tight end this year, with Josh Gordon probably going to be out at least for a few weeks, if not the whole season. He's the only really good receiver that they have, and he's going to be catching a lot of targets from whoever is going to be quarterback in Cleveland. Also, T.Y. Hilton had a great year last year. I know he does have Reggie Wayne and Hakeem Nicks on their team now, and healthy as it seems, but he is still a really good pick at round 6. I think he's going to do pretty well. Now, at pick number 10 in round 6, we took Terrence Williams, which was somewhat of a reach. He's averaging about round 7, or probably around 7. But as the clear-cut number 2 receiver in Dallas, I definitely think that he's going to be putting up some numbers, because Dallas's defense is horrible, as I'm sure most of you have heard, and he's going to have a lot of opportunities to catch a lot of passes. Alright everybody, there you have it, rounds 1 through 6. Unfortunately, I have to cut this video a little bit short because of how long it is going to be with all the other rounds. I'm going to put a link down in the description of rounds 7 through 15. Make sure you go check them out. There's a lot of really interesting picks with sleepers and a lot of good players that you might want to pick up. So like I said before, I'm going to put a link down in the description. Go check it out, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, especially if you're into fantasy football and stuff like that, because a lot more stuff like this will be coming your way in the near future. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.